American Pickers star Frank Fritz's antique business in Illinois is in a state of disrepair on account of the shop's deteriorating circumstances, which include a peeling ceiling, sunken flooring, and other issues. In Savannah, Illinois, which is located 220 miles away from Des Moines, Frank Fritz Finds is owned by Frank, who is 60 years old. During the time that the former American Pickers star is still recovering from a stroke that he had in July 2022, the United States Sun has acquired exclusive photographs that reveal the business in a deplorable state. Located in the back room of a restaurant and bar known as Hog Dogs is where you will find Frank Fritz Finds. In a single photograph, the paint that had been applied to the ceiling could be seen flaking off. As a result of a hole in the wall, there are even cables that are visible. Another photograph showed the hardwood planks settling into the earth. This was seen in the photograph. Customers have voiced their dissatisfaction with the circumstances of the shop, which include the low temperatures and the absence of adequate illumination. A consumer posted the following review on Google. It was supposed to open at 10 in the morning. According to another worker, the lights were not on when we entered the building, and the antique saleswoman was running behind schedule. She did open up the antique sales for us, but if you go in the cold, you should be prepared since the sales are not heated. The bar did have a hit vibe about it. However, even at 10:30, it was not ready for us to arrive. There was a respectable quantity of genuine antiques that were offered at prices that were affordable. Definitely a mess to be found. Could use more lights, said a second person commenting. I was very thrilled to attend, as stated by a third person. Ahead of my arrival there, it is expensive to buy. There is little light, very disheartening to hear. Failures in the store. The United States Sun published further photographs of the store's deplorable circumstances throughout the month of November. There was a photograph that showed the glass display case to have a stain, which made it impossible to view the antiquities that were contained inside. Cobwebs of a considerable thickness could be spotted in the corners of the store in another photograph. It was even possible to find cobwebs on some of the antiques. Dust was plastered all over the shelves and antiques that were located throughout the shop. There were cobwebs on an antique mannequin and on the windowsills, which were comparable to the circumstances that were shown in photographs that were acquired exclusively by the United States Sun in the month of August. Being work in progress? On the other hand, the shop did make an effort to enhance its appearance by constructing the outside of the building throughout the month of August. For the month of November, the United States Sun has gotten fresh photographs of the completed improvements. It was possible to observe new windows installed on the levels above the shop, which gave the structure a more contemporary appearance. The annual market. In the past, the United States Sun published an article on the yearly sales of Frank Fritz Finds. Experience business valuation study for Frank Fritz Finds indicates that the company's annual revenues are expected to be under $25,000, according to the study. Having a business credit score of 27, the organization is considered to be of medium risk. With regard to the financial stability risk ratings, the store was given a rating of 4 out of 5, which indicates that it has a medium high risk. This indicates that there is a 10% potential risk of severe financial distress within the next 12 months. Francie's right to conservation. Since having a stroke in July of 2022, Frank has not been making as much of an effort to be active in the company. On August 18, his close friends submitted a request for an immediate appointment of a temporary guardian and conservator for the celebrity, stating that his decision-making capacity is so impaired. According to the conservatorship paperwork that the United States Sun was able to get exclusively, there are plans to renovate the business. The following is an excerpt from the initial plan that was submitted by the conservator Midwestone Bank. Mr. Fritz is a well-known collector and has numerous outbuildings full of valuable collections. It is the intention of the conservator to keep those goods mainly in their current state, with the exception of refilling Mr. Fritz's antique shop in Savannah, Illinois, if and when it is required. The conservator has not yet conducted an inventory of those items. According to the conservator, there is optimism that Frank will be able to take part in the selection and price of things, just like he did in the past. Frank right now. After the stroke, which left the right half of his body paralyzed, Frank is now walking again, according to a source who had previously informed the United States Sun. Because he still has a long way to go before he is fully recovered, he continues to reside in an assisted living home so that he may get assistance with his physical therapy. Because Frank lost his linguistic and mobility abilities, that is where he has remained. According to a source close to Mike Wolfe, Frank's former co-star on the program, he is currently residing in an assisted living facility. Despite the fact that Frank got his verbal back, the source proceeded to assert that the star has had a difficult time working on his mobility. It has been incredibly challenging for him to find the drive to perform. According to the source, he was able to find the drive to speak, but when it came to the physical treatment, he's not really there yet. A second person who is close to Frank's loved ones said that he is recovering at his own time and is not rushing through the process. According to the second source knowledgeable with the situation, he has been working really hard to not overdo himself and stress himself out and to honor his health. In no way is he attempting to prove something to himself or going beyond what is reasonable. Respecting what ought to be right now is what he is doing. It is only now that he is receiving physical therapy at the nursing home. I have faith that he will recover. I am certain that he will. The United States Sun is able to report that it does not seem that Frank is residing at his Davenport, Iowa farmhouse on a full-time basis. The American Decisions. On American Pickers, Frank had his most recent appearance in March of 2020. After taking a sabbatical from the program to have back surgery, he ran into a disagreement with his long-standing co-star Mike Wolfe, which caused him to leave the show. Robbie, Mike's brother, participated in the show in lieu of Frank so that he could be with Danielle Colby. In spite of their discord, the two were able to make amends during the Memorial Day weekend of 2023 and continue to communicate with one another to this day.